Actually, I'm starting to wonder, is this too big? It might be. What's up, Agent Zero here, and welcome back to another episode of the Piston House. Now, admittedly, it's been a couple weeks since I've last done this. The last episode was like 2 weeks ago. I guess that is a couple weeks. Basically, what happened is I built this nice little piston staircase here, and also in that episode, I was having quite a bit of an issue with my game controller, which at this point, the issue has been taken care of. The reason why I didn't do an episode last week has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that my schedule got shifted last week for all my videos, and I wasn't able to get an episode of this in, but we're at least back, which is good. So, if you missed the last episode, which as of me recording this, only has 2 views, which I don't understand how that happens, I built this piston staircase, and the way this works is that I flick this lever and the stairs retract, and there's no sign of the stairs whatsoever, and that leads into the basement area that we've been working on for a number of episodes. And also I had a secondary circuit in the back. I know I initially said this was going to be a completely on-camera series, but I added this little circuit right here, so now, as you can tell, when these stairs are closed, you can't even tell there's anything up there to begin with. Now, if I go ahead and flick this lever, the pistons up there retract, and it's actually along the same timing as the remainder of the pistons. So when these pistons retract, these pistons extend the exact same time, and vice versa. That's exactly how it works. It's actually not too complicated. Well, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how this actually works. I'm going to be working to hide all the redstone here relatively soon. So I actually had to reconfigure the redstone dust in order to get this to work the way I wanted. I had to get rid of all the blocks that the redstone dust was put on, and instead put the dust directly on top of the pistons. This is the exact same way on the other side, so I'm not going to bother showing you guys the other side. So I flick the lever, the redstone dust goes to this torch, and on the other side of this block is a repeater which runs redstone dust along these slabs and all the way up to right here, which, because the redstone dust is on top of this block and going directly into this piston, it's not only going to power this piston, but it's going to power the bottom piston as well, because the redstone dust is in fact on top of a solid block. Then again, it's fairly obvious that it's powering both pistons at once, because otherwise it wouldn't have been working the way it was. And, well, what do you know? There's a naturally spawning llama. Yeah, 1.1, as I did mention, did recently come out, so now we have these guys spawning. I did not realize they would spawn in savannas. Then again, I don't actually know where they're supposed to spawn in the first place, but you know, whatever. So we're gonna be working on another one of the rooms today. We're gonna be focusing on the kitchen in this episode, and I do believe I'm just gonna cap it off right here. Now, it is gonna have a normal counter and sink, but then the other thing that's going to have is actually, it's going to have, I'm going to go ahead and wall this off, so you're actually going to have to go around the corner in order to get to it. So basically what's going to happen is that it's going to have 2 things in this kitchen. It's going to have a normal counter and sink like I mentioned, but at the same time it's also going to have a redstone circuit, which is kind of the whole point behind this, because this is a piston house, which is immediately a redstone house. So it's fairly obvious we're going to be putting in some form of redstone circuitry in here. Now, the circuit we're going to be putting in here, I'm trying to determine where I want to put this. That's the real question. Let me go ahead and break some of these blocks and extend out a little further. Yeah, I think this will work. Although I'm probably going to have to expand it a little bit further to the side. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do this. So, and I did not want to break this block. You know what? I can just extend out one more. Here's what I'm going to be putting in this kitchen. So, as I've already mentioned, it's going to have a normal kitchen, counter and sink, but at the same time, it's also going to have... Actually, I'm starting to wonder, is this too big? It might be. I'll figure that out in a little bit. So, here's the way this is going to work. So, the redstone circuit that I'm going to be putting in is going to end up being a little bit of a wheat farm. That's what I'm going to be putting in here. It's a little bit of a wheat farm. And I think I need to go ahead and place this here. Yeah, actually, no, let's go ahead and place it down here. And I want this to kind of look nice underneath. So let's go ahead and take care of all this. Pressure plate down there. And here's how this is going to work. So you, let me go ahead and set up the, these dirt blocks real quick. So if I go ahead and put down a piston right here with a pressure plate right here, and I go ahead and wall this off like this, just like, yeah, you know what, that's fine. Here's how this is going to work. There are going to be dispensers directly above the dirt blocks, and then those are going to end up dispensing out bone meal, okay? And then let me go ahead and pull some stuff out of my inventory. So let me go ahead and put the dirt up. I am going to need the glowstone. Let's get out the hoe and the water, and what else do I need? The dispenser, of course. Here's the deal. We're going to go ahead and put water down in here to hydrate it. And do I need to put down more than just that? You know, I'm going to just to make it even. I don't know why. So let's go ahead and till all this dirt. So here's how this works. So you probably would think that putting blocks, moving these tilled dirt blocks would actually cause it to not be tilled anymore. Well, that's not the case. So if I go ahead and stand this pressure plate, it pushes the piston over to the side, but the the dirt stays tilled. And we're going to be taking advantage of that. So let me go ahead and place down some blocks just like this. And let's go ahead and place down dispensers. Now these dispensers, like I said earlier, they're going to be filled with bone meal. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm probably going to take care of that in between episodes, because that's basically going into the creative inventory and spamming the spamming my Y button with on the bone meal. It's basically all I'm going to be doing is spamming my Y button to get endless amounts of bone meal in my inventory, and you guys don't need to see that. Okay. And something I do need to go ahead and do... Actually, where can I put this? I'm going to put this right here. Yeah, I'll put this right here. It's going to make the... It's going to make the place look a little bit weird based on the shape, but I really can't do much about it. Actually, never mind. I can just extend this out just a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. So, and out of everything that I grabbed for this episode, the one thing I did not grab are levers. I need at least one lever. And I guess stack of 64 because the way the new creative inventory works for controllers is that it automatically gives you a full stack of an item when you push the A button, which I personally do not like. I wish they would change that. I wish they had a setting to change that, but you know what? Whatever. So I'm going to place blocks on top of these pistons. I need to place down this block right here. This actually needs to be a slab because otherwise it's going to mess with some of the redstone mechanics here. And so if I go ahead and place this here, set this to subtract mode, go ahead and set up a redstone clock just like this. And if we go ahead and flick this lever, we should hear, yeah, the dispensers are firing off in a rapid fashion, which is what we want. And I don't need this block here anymore. Okay. Now, I don't know how well this is going to end up pertaining to touch controls. This is mainly for game controllers, or if you're playing on Windows 10, I suppose this would make a lot more sense. Then again, the reason why I'm saying this is because the way this is going to end up working is going to be a little bit tedious, admittedly, for touch controls. You're going to see why in a minute. But here's what's going to go ahead and happen. So these dispensers are going to be firing, and I actually found out that they do not dispense anything if there's nothing in front of them to grow, which is actually relatively smart. I don't know if that was in any of the previous versions of Pocket Edition. I don't know whether or not this was implemented into 1.1, but that's actually a really smart thing to do because then it's not wasting all of that bone meal. So if I go ahead and pull out some seeds, and so here's the way this works. Let me go ahead and start this lever. So as you can tell, it's actually automatically growing the seeds, as you can tell. And actually I need to go this way. I'm an idiot. So if I stand on this pressure plate, it's going to activate the piston, and it's going to break all the crops, and you just start the whole process over again. Now, the reason why I said that this mainly pertains to controllers in Windows 10 is because of how fast you can do it. Then again, I did do it slowly to give you guys an idea of what you need to do in order to use this. And why is that not activating? Because I don't have redstone dust down. Oh, this is going to annoy me. Alright, there we go. That's why it wasn't doing anything, because I did not put down redstone dust on this last block. How did I miss that? Alright, that fixed that problem. Now, it's actually using bone meal right now. No, it's stuck at 53, okay. So, here's why I initially said it pertains to Windows 10 and game controllers. Because you can just simply hold down your place button just like this, and it will automatically place them down. So right now all I'm doing is holding down my right bumper, which I know you guys can't tell because I don't have like a face cam or something to show you guys what I'm doing, but that's basically all I'm doing is I'm holding down on my right trigger, well, not my trigger, right, my shoulder, there's actually a difference. And so it's just constantly placing all that stuff down. So that's basically what is going on here. And here's the reason why I actually needed to have this particular piece of redstone dust sitting on a slab rather than a redstone dust. Because I was on my testing world not too long ago, and I was testing this circuit out. You guys know I like to make sure things are working before I put things together in worlds. And apparently having redstone dust on top of a solid block was causing this particular dispenser to not spit out bone meal. I'm not entirely sure why, and the reason is strictly because the redstone dust being on a solid block will also power the block next to it. So my guess is that maybe it was only firing once. But then over on this side right here, because these pieces of redstone dust are flashing on and off continuously because of the way the signal strength is working, then that's causing every single one of these dispensers to fire out the bone meal. And as I said, I'm going to be going into the creative inventory in between episodes to take care of the whole bone meal situation, because that's going to take quite a bit of time. Because if you guys take a look down at the bottom right hand corner, you can see it says my Y button activates quick move. Basically what this does is, let's say for example I want these torches. I just hit my Y button, which I know you guys can't tell, and it gives me a full stack of the torches. So I basically have to spam my Y button. So there's that. Let me go ahead and pull out some of my blocks again. And I actually haven't fully decided how I'm gonna go about. Actually, I have an idea. Then again, I don't necessarily know if this is going to end up causing problems or if it's actually going to be helpful. So if I go ahead and put redstone dust down here, place down a block here, and then I place the lever down right here. So if I just go ahead and look up, flick the lever, there we go. And it's not getting in my way, so that's good. So I can go ahead and clear out some of the room. Although admittedly that does mean I have to have this out just a little bit anyway. You know what, it's fine the way it was initially. I can just extend this out. It won't be a problem. So all I'm going to do is just simply extend out this wall a little bit. It's immediately going to end up being a false wall. It's going to be 2 blocks thick. And the remainder of the kitchen is going to end up being non-redstone. That's basically all the remainder of the kitchen is going to be, is non-redstone. So I suppose, let me go ahead and break a few of these blocks like this. And I suppose, what would look good for a kitchen counter? I want to put down at least a furnace. Let's go ahead and get out a furnace, which is right here. I can't find things properly, apparently. what would look good as a counter? Also I want to have like some form of stove top, and I suppose I can use the iron pressure plate for that. And then for a countertop, oh yeah, I should probably put in a sink as well. I think a cauldron with some water would look good for that. And then a countertop. You know what? Let's use quartz stairs, because why not? So if I go ahead and place down quartz stairs upside down here, if I come to this side and place them down, okay, that looks good. And if I go ahead and place down this right here, place down, suppose we can go ahead and place down another counter right here with the cauldron right here. And then another piece of countertop, although it doesn't really make a difference, so I'm going to fix that. So let's go ahead and place down this pressure plate down like this. I should still have, yeah, right here, I have a bucket of water in my inventory. Let's go ahead and place this down like that. Now, what else could I put in here? That is a bit of a question. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure I'll figure something out, but I'm kind of drawing a blank for right now. I can probably put in some form of lighting in the back. Yeah, I can probably do that. And I need to clear out some of my hotbar before I actually do that. There we go. And something I am also noticing about the creative menu is that apparently it does actually remember where you were last when you're switching between tabs, which is nice. Not too bad of a kitchen. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on, but that actually isn't too bad. I mean, it probably could use with, oh, I know what I can put back here. I can open this up. This can be like a little dining area that it can go into. You know what? I'm short on time. I'm going to take care of that in between episodes, which is not what I was hoping for. I wasn't hoping to actually have to do a whole ton of work in between episodes. This was initially supposed to be a series where everything was done on camera, but I'm short on time, and I got some other things that I need to get done in some other worlds. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to showcase any other form of building. I would love, I think having a dining area in this area would be a really cool feature. It's going to come out in this direction. I suppose I could just have this be like a little bit of a hallway, and the dining area comes out over here somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to save that for another time and end the video off here. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. One more than make sure that subscribing for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Zero Studios. Thank you guys for watching. And with that, I will see you guys later.